Ready Player One. Ready Player One. Ready Player One. In case you haven't guessed from my intro, I'm pretty excited about Ready Player One. So we're gonna get straight to the quick. Do I like? Do I not like? Should you pick up this book, this audiobook? Yes. Stop this video. Go get it. Do whatever you gotta do. If you haven't listened to this book, you need to listen to this book. If you haven't read this book, you need to read this book. This is a gem. There's a reason why it's so popular, and it's a valid reason. And this is an amazing book. So let's get into it. For those of you who haven't, shut off this video and ran to get that book, or who have already seen it, listened to it and want to get my take on it. So why is Ready Player One so amazing? Well, this review here is just going to be based on the audiobook, and which is pretty much the same reason the book is awesome, with an added bonus. Two reasons. Two. One, Ernest Cline, he's a genius. And two, Wil Wheaton, he's a lyrical genius. So let's start with the story before we get into it. The story, Ready Player One, is really a dystopian book, which those have been done and they're tired, and everyone's, at least me, is tired of dystopia. But this book, unlike other dystopian books, is very realistic. This is like, we are probably 50 years away from this, and I could see this really happening. But you don't get too much of the dystopian in it. It's seasoning. It's like seasoning on a wonderful meal. It's there, but it adds to the overall enjoyment. The real story takes place in the future and in the past. That's right. This is a very unique book, and it follows a lot of tropes, but it does it so well, and it gives a new spin on a lot of those tropes, and it does its own. It has its own voice. So I mean, from story wise, it's a gem. I've mentioned Ready Player One in some of my previous reviews, and there's a reason for that. I first listened to this book about 2 years ago. I was late to the game. I have very, bad friends. I'm just kidding. If you guys are out there, you're the best. But they had never read Ready Player One. But when I listened to it, I immediately re-listened to it. It was that good. There's very few books that have done that for me in the past, where I finish it and I just didn't get enough. I want to hear it again. And I listened to it again, a second time, right after the first time. I had another book ready. I had another book waiting. I don't even remember what that book was. That's how good Ready Player One was from a story standpoint. The characters. So we got Wade Watts, which is our main protagonist. And he is awesome. He is very relatable. He's going to be relatable to quite a few people in here. There's a lot of very relatable characters. That's I related to more than just Wade Watts, but definitely Wade Watts was one of the characters I most related to. And he is awesome. His avatar is Parzival, based off a story of looking for the Holy Grail. And he is also looking for the Holy Grail. But his Holy Grail is deciphering Anorak's almanac and being the winner of what is the best Easter egg, the best race, the best riddle in the history of this world. And basically, Anorak, he created this item called the Oasis. I'm going to stay very away from spoilers because this is that good. A movie's coming out this month, and I'm anticipating the movie to be very good, so I'm going to tread very lightly. But he created the Oasis, and being that the world went into turmoil, dystopia, pretty much everyone escaped into this world, the Oasis that he created. and there's a evil organization. It's basically just a mirror image of a huge company that wants more power. They want to take over the Oasis so they can privatize it. That way they can add ads and make money off of, which is virtually a very free place. Education, I mean, so you got education, you got entertainment, you got communication, you got social networking. I mean, this is a very powerful tool, and if this entity were to get it, the one escape for this world and this dystopian future would become inaccessible to a large percentage of it, which is why Anorak himself, hid this Easter egg. So that's where that's the world this book takes place. So Wade Watts, or Parzival, he's one of a million or so many Gunthers, which are egg hunters, trying to figure out this riddle and solve the mystery. And I'm going to leave it at that. I am going to talk about some supporting characters that are amazing. H is amazing. That's a man. I'll be honest, I thought H was going to take a direction. Everything was there for it to take the direction I thought. Ernest Cline, he, at least for me, at least for this guy, he led a bread trail. And I was picking up that bread. I was following him. And then he was like, boom! Not what you thinking, bro. And I really appreciate that. Whenever a story can surprise you, that's amazing. So H, very awesome. Sorrento, which is like the main bad guy, he's kind of the representative of this company. Also nicely done. I mean, he's not evil per se. He just, he has a job, and it harkens back to, what would you do for your job? What would you do if an order was given? How far would you go? And so he's not necessarily a bad guy, but the position that he's in makes him a bad guy. So he is the closest we get to this antagonist. Really, the corporation itself would be the antagonist. Artemis, oh my God. They do a lot of funny things with Artemis. I'll be honest with you. We live in a world where you can hide behind online avatars, and you don't know. You don't know, and I'll just leave it like that. So Artemis is awesome, great, well done character. Everyone in this story. Og, I believe his name is Ogden Morrow, and he's the great Og. Again, really well done. Let's talk about Easter eggs in this story. Oh my God, there is so many. There are so many. Pac-Man. I'm not going, no spoilers here, but Pac-Man, he's important. He's important in this story. We got everything from Joust, a lot of 80s games. So when I say it takes place in the past, it's in the 80s, right? So Anorak, he was obsessed with the 80s. That's basically what drove him to make the Oasis. So his almanac is filled with 80s lore. So 80s movies, 80s sitcoms, 80s video games, 80s literature, 80s music. It's all there. So I was born in 81. So again, it might just be me. It might just be that my relation to the 80s that makes this book and this listen so great. But when they mention something that you recognize, is just like, oh, it's like opening up a treasure chest. It's like opening up a treasure chest. So amazing story, amazing. I can't get enough. I'm not going to go into more details. I'm probably going to make a spoiler review on this, so look out for that. Just because I really want to talk about this book. It's amazing. Narration, Wil Wheaton. I would say he was born for this role. He really brought everyone to life. He did a phenomenal job. I mentioned in one of my reviews, Rosario Dawson blew me away. I was afraid she wasn't going to do a good job, and she did a fantastic job in Artemis. Check out the Artemis video. But Wil Wheaton, equally so. He fleshes out every character so perfectly. He gives them life. He's very energetic. He fits this role so perfectly. I'm a Wil Wheaton fan from now on. Any audiobook that he narrates, I will probably listen to. So I didn't rate story. I'm so freaking excited. So story, 5 out of 5. Narration, 5 out of 5. Listenability, as I mentioned earlier, I listened to this right after. How many times have I listened to Ready Player One? That's what you're asking yourself. How many times has Dro listened to Ready Player One? Well, I'm actually listening to it right now again in preparation for the movie, just because I'm very psyched for this movie. I think this movie has a chance to do as good a job as the book. It probably won't do as good a job just because the book was done that well, but it will probably do a good job. So I'm very excited for the movie. So in total, I'm on my 4th round with Ready Player One. And I'll be honest with you, Ready Player One is becoming one of those books where it's almost like a yearly habit. If I listen to a book that's kind of slow, that I'm not really enjoying, sometimes I'll just put Ready Player One, listen to it for a little bit, and then take it off and kind of continue on that way. There's not the only book. There's a couple other books that fit in that spectrum. But Ready Player One is perfect. Perfect length, perfect story, perfect characters, perfect narration. So overall, I give Ready Player One a 5 out of 5 and a super high recommendation. I cannot recommend this enough. Please get this audiobook, get this book, go watch the movie, support this guy. He has another book. I'm going to do a review on that as well. Also narrated by Wil Wheaton, and it's very good. Not as good as Ready Player One, but it is very good. So this guy, Ernest Cline, he is very talented, and you know, you got that 1-2 punch, him and Wil Wheaton. Let's keep these guys together. I mean, and we got to support them because it's that good. Have you read Ready Player One? Have you listened to Ready Player One? Are you gonna watch the movie for Ready Player One? Let me know. Comment below. I cannot wait. I cannot stress how excited I am to be talking about this book. It's not the only book that I'll be talking about that gets me this pumped up, but this is definitely one of them. If you haven't, do yourself a favor, get this story in you. You will not regret it. It is amazing. It's a masterpiece. I'm going to do a spoiler review just because I want to talk about this even more. This video is probably going to be way too long. That video will probably be way too long as well. But, you know, if you're excited for Ready Player One, you'll hang in there. And I'm probably going to do a movie review for Ready Player One when it comes out. I'm not really into movie reviews, but this I'll probably do movie reviews on books. And I'll probably do a comparison video of the two. So get ready. March is Ready Player One month. So strap in. This has been Dro Talks. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, hit that like, ring that bell to get notified, and we'll see you next time.